Hello Seekers, welcome to Punneit Astrology, your one-stop astro channel. Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius and Pisces zodiac sign, is debilitated right now and it will move out of the debilitation, move into another zodiac of Saturn, which is Aquarius, on 6th of April. On 20th of June, Jupiter will turn retrograde in the sign of Aquarius, and on 14th of September, Jupiter will go out and go back to the sign of Capricorn, and then it will stay there till 21st of November when it will come back to Aquarius. What is this Jupiter transit in Aquarius all about? Let's try to find that out in this video. But before that, do not forget to hit like, subscribe and share, and hit the bell icon so that you never miss another update. And you can follow me on social media for quick bites on Instagram and Facebook. The links are in the description box below. And if you want to take my consultation, drop me an email. All the details and the email ID is given below. So guys, let's begin with Jupiter transit in the sign of Aquarius. Jupiter is a planet that rules the knowledge, wisdom. It expands, it gives you the light, it gives you the path, it gives you the direction. Jupiter is the ruler of scriptures. It is the ruler of the divine knowledge. It is like the one which has the infinite pool of jnana. And Jupiter was with Saturn and also debilitated. Therefore, Jupiter was bounded by and limited by the boundaries defined by Shani. Saturn is definitely strong in the sign of Capricorn because it is his own zodiac sign. Now, when Jupiter moves to the sign of Aquarius, that is first of all natural 11th house, and then you have to understand the position of Aquarius with respect to the two zodiac sign of Jupiter. Jupiter is third from the zodiac of Sagittarius, and Jupiter is 12th from the zodiac of Pisces. With respect to Pisces, first we will see that Pisces is the natural 12th house. Jupiter going into Aquarius means Jupiter is 12th from 12th house. So definitely 12th from 12th is Bhavad Bhavam of Jupiter. So Aquarius becomes a position of Jupiter which is Bhavad Bhavam of Pisces. Therefore, it reduces the loss, it reduces the negativity, and it is a completely gainful transit for the entire universe. Universe of life that we live in is going to be influenced by the Jiva property of the Jupiter, because Jupiter is also known as Jiva Karaka. Now, when Jupiter goes into the sign of Aquarius, its position with respect to Sagittarius is going to be third. So therefore, the destiny and the willpower or the courage of the 9th house is going to improve, and you are going to gain a broader network circle. The saintly nature of the network circle will improve, and Jupiter's knowledge and wisdom will become widespread in the sign of Aquarius. In brief, let us try to understand ascendant by ascendant what the Jupiter transit means and what it has in store for us. Aries zodiac sign. For Aries, Jupiter will be in the 11th house. The 9th lord goes in the 11th house, which means that the destiny will start now moving. Travel might happen in spite of the difficult situation. You might have to travel, but obviously when the 12th lord goes 12th from itself, someone from the foreign can come back to their own native land, their own original home. This also shows that this is a good time for increase of income. This is also a good time for increase of knowledge. And because Jupiter's aspect falls on the 5th house, this means you can learn something, you can upgrade yourself to facilitate a better source of income, to facilitate a promotion, which also means that if you are stuck in your business, if you're stuck in your career, you need to learn something, you need to upgrade your skill. Also, Jupiter's aspect will be on the 3rd house and the 7th house. Now, Jupiter definitely aspects the sign of Gemini. which means that the communication part of Jupiter will increase and your network circle will also improve. You will get a lot of people who will become friends who are wise and who will try to give you suggestions. Also, when Jupiter aspects the 7th house, this stabilizes the loss of business, this stabilizes any kind of financial throughput and gives you a better stability in your career, business and financial gains are also possible in this time frame. If you are in the right Mahadasha and Antardasha, this will also give you an opportunity to establish marital connection, marriage related events can happen in your family, and this also means that your friends will become a great source of help. When Jupiter aspects the 5th house, this also means that you will also gain money for the education of your children and your productivity of life will also increase. It's an overall a very, very positive transit and a gainful transit for all Aries Ascendant and Aries Moon sign. Taurus. For the Taurus zodiac sign, Jupiter movement will happen in the 10th house. 10th house is the house of career. When the 11th Lord goes in the 10th house and the 8th Lord goes in the 10th house, this means that the sudden change in your career can happen and sudden movement in the way you approach your career can also happen. Suddenly your knowledge might be questioned and you will be asked to upgrade yourself forcibly, and this will put you into a position where you can look out for a better opportunity. You can look out for a better project, which Jupiter will facilitate when it is in the 10th house. When Jupiter is in the 10th house, Jupiter aspects the 2nd and the 6th house. 2nd house is the Kutumbha Bhav. So definitely you will have to work on the resources that you have in your career and you have to utilize and you will be at a better position to utilize what you have in your hand. Rahu being in the 1st house is going to give you out of the box thinking, and Jupiter aspect on the 2nd house stabilizes the position of Rahu because ultimately Rahu is using the 2nd house as its own resource. While Jupiter aspect on the 6th house reduces the diseases, it reduces the negativity of the 6th house and gives you a better job or a better career and a better position, a better designation, a better name and fame, which reduces your stress and anxiety. Whereas Jupiter aspect on the 4th house, which is the 7th aspect, stabilizes the 4th house also. Remember, 4th house is the house of Leo, and for you, Leo represents happiness. So Jupiter will stabilize your dignity and will give you the prestige and the self-respect that you deserve. Overall, Jupiter transit is going to be extremely positive and transforming for Taurus zodiac sign. Gemini zodiac sign. For Gemini, Jupiter will move in the 9th house. Right from the 8th house, Jupiter was debilitated. It now goes in the 9th house. Remember, 9th house is the natural house of Jupiter. So when Jupiter goes in the 9th house, Jupiter goes in the temple. This is the Guru Bhava, Guru Sthan, Deva Sthan. When Jupiter goes there, Jupiter becomes kind of Swagrahi. Now definitely this is Aquarius, so definitely you will get a lot of religious gains and spiritual gains when Jupiter goes in this particular house. Jupiter will aspect your trine, the 5th house and the 1st house, which represents the expansion of destiny, expansion of ideas, innovative thought, new desire to focus on religious and spiritual activity, going to the temples, going and doing pilgrimages, and also expansion through travel or learning through travel, at least travel by imagination if physical travel is not possible. Read books. By book reading, you will be able to travel to far distant places, and when Jupiter aspects your 1st house, personality development will be definitely on the cards and someone, a guru, will help you. Seek the guru in this time frame. Jupiter aspect on the 5th house also expands your knowledge, whereas Jupiter aspect on the 3rd house will protect you from any negativity coming from the travel, but still travel carefully. For you, Jupiter rules your 10th house, and when the 10th Lord goes in the 9th house, this means that the career in which you are destined to be will knock on your doorstep. Also, the 7th Lord goes in the 9th house, which shows that your courage and your actions towards marriage, resolving the issues of marriage or willing to get married will become fructified, and Jupiter aspect on the 3rd house shows that your communication will become refined and you will come across as an experienced and knowledgeable person. Again, I will repeat, read books. Cancer Ascendant. In case of Cancer Ascendant, Jupiter is going to be exalted on your ascendant whenever it moves to Cancer. So Cancer is a very favorite zodiac sign for Jupiter. But for you, Jupiter goes in the 8th house. Now definitely the 6th Lord goes into the 8th house. It is a position of Viparita Raj Yoga. But the 9th Lord also goes in the 8th house. Now in this position of Jupiter, the deep knowledge is going to expand. This shows that you will want to research on yourself. You would want to research on the negativity of your life and you would want to get rid of it. Occult energies are going to increase and the spiritual influence is going to come up. When Jupiter goes in the 8th house, this shows earning or gain of money through investments. Now, when you are investing money in this time frame, this shows that when you are investing, you should invest for a long period of time. Any kind of inheritance related issue can be resolved. Tax related issue has to be resolved in this time frame. And when Jupiter aspects the 2nd house, it stabilizes the bank balance by giving you enough amount of savings. Any kind of court case related to inheritance, the money that is stuck from the public can come in this time frame. This also means that you can also work for the public money and this will give you a new source of income. Whereas Jupiter aspect being in the 8th house aspects the 12th house while being the Lord of the 6th house, this is a very positive position of Jupiter to stabilize the negative houses. Jupiter aspect on the 4th house makes you happy. But 8th house is called secret and deep desires. When Jupiter, the Guru, the knowledge goes in the 8th house, you will explore the deep secrets of your life and you will feel happy. So this is the best time to be who you are, to know who you really are. Overall, for Cancer Ascendant, this is going to be a transforming period for you. But if you are a Cancer moon sign, you need to be slightly careful because for you and for your perception, Jupiter goes in the blind spot. Jupiter hides from your moon. So for Cancer Ascendant, it's very positive. But for Cancer moon sign, you have to be slightly careful. You will feel that the gains are coming as if angels are helping you. Leo Ascendant. In case of Leo Ascendant, Jupiter rules one of your trine, the 5th house and 8th house. And when Jupiter goes into Aquarius, it goes in the 7th house. When Jupiter goes in the 7th house, it expands your connectivity in your business. It aspects your 3rd and the 11th house, so it controls the Kama Trikona. While it aspects your ascendant, expanding your presence in public, it also improves your income and also it improves your courage. It enhances the properties of the Libra as well as the properties of the Gemini zodiac sign. Definitely this is a good time to stabilize any issue in the marriage, and if your moon supports it, if Jupiter is in a positive position with respect to moon, this is a good time to initiate marriage, to find out a right partner, to have any kind of contract or business contract. But remember, when Jupiter is in the 7th house, a lot of people will try to suggest you. A lot of people will try to become guru in your life. You need to be very careful in choosing the right person, choosing the right guru. When the 8th Lord goes in the 7th house, this also shows suddenness of actions with respect to the 7th house properties, marriage, business, finance. 7th house is also very important because 7th house is 10th from 10th. So definitely this will impact your career and your source of income. A sudden change, a sudden kind of event can happen in your career that will give you a nice environment, a nice avenue to improve the way you earn. Financially, it is going to be an excellent time, and this is going to be a desire fulfilling transit for all Leo Ascendant. Keep your ego in check. Virgo Ascendant. In case of Virgo Ascendant or Virgo moon sign, Jupiter will move on your 6th house. Now, definitely 6th house is not the right position for Jupiter, but then you have to understand that Jupiter going into the 6th house will give you a sense of responsibility. your knowledge about your karma, your knowledge about the prarabdha and the duties will come into highlight. Jupiter rules your 4th house and the 7th house. The two Kendra Bhava ruled by Jupiter improves the 6th house properties. For Virgo, Jupiter will aspect the 12th house. Definitely 4th and the 7th lord going into the 6th house will give you the idea of the prarabdha about your family and your marriage. So it's more about personal. It's more about resolving the personal conflicts of the personal life. And when the 6th house Jupiter will aspect the 10th, 12th and the 2nd house, this is more involving the work-life balance. So for Virgo moon sign and Virgo ascendant, Jupiter might come across as someone who is an enemy. The suggestions, the critics, all can come across as enemies, but you need to open up, you need to have a broader mind and use this Jupiter to activate the Upachaya house of the 6th house. This is going to give you opportunities for a better job. This is going to clear off the prarabdha. This is going to tell you the responsibilities and reduce the losses because it aspects the 12th house. If your sun is positive in your own horoscope, then this is going to be a positive transit. But in case your sun is slightly negative or debilitated, then you have to be slightly careful in investments, taking loans, giving money to other people, and or buying a property or a car in this time frame. Overall, this is going to be a mixed transit for you, totally dependent on your chart. But overall, if I see the ratio of the positive and negative, the positive traits of the transit supersedes the negative side of Jupiter in 6th house. Libra zodiac sign. In case of Libra zodiac sign, Jupiter will go in your 5th house. Jupiter rules your 3rd house and the 6th house. 3rd lord going into the 5th house is the Bhavat Bhavam of 3rd house, which eventually shows that the knowledge that you will gain in this transit will improve your confidence. It will improve your presence in the network circle. It will improve your productivity of life, and it also gives you the necessary courage to act. It will reduce the procrastination and it will make you an agile person. But Jupiter in the 5th house also expands your stomach, so beware of being overweight. Take care of your liver and stop eating random food, random amounts of food. Eat very small meals multiple times a day, or you can consult an Ayurvedic dietitian to give you the kind of food that you can have according to the tattva, according to the guna of your body. The 6th lord going into the 5th house may increase some stomach related ailments or disease and can increase some gastric disturbance in the body. But overall, you don't need to worry because your ascendant is also getting aspected by Jupiter, which therefore will bring the necessary doctor, the necessary Vaidya that will resolve the situation of diseases inside your body, and you can correct the diseases by eating herbs, by eating Ayurvedic medicines. When Jupiter aspects the 9th house, this is going to expand your destiny and expand your identity. And Jupiter aspect on the 11th house also shows that your expectations will meet now. You will get what you deserve and you will get what you need, and therefore your focus should be on learning and focusing on scriptures. A very wise suggestion to you will be to read any kind of scriptures. Just try to read them. It can be anything, Upanishad, Vedas, Puranas, Gita. Just pick up any one that you can read and start analyzing it, start reading it, and also find out the meaning behind it in your own native language. The essence is to gather the knowledge. Have a small library and buy more books and start reading more books and start giving books or donating books to needy children. 5th house is education and Aquarius is the sign of distribution. Your distribution, your network connection towards children and increasing someone's productivity is going to be something which is of positive sense. 6th house is subordinates. When Jupiter, which is the 6th lord, goes in the 5th house, this means your subordinates will work for you and you will see a good and bright team if you are working in a team, and you will see that you are getting profit out of it, which is a very good sign for your financial and personal stability. Overall, this is a very good time, both financially and on the personal side, and you should make the best productive output of your life in this transit. Scorpio zodiac sign. In case of Scorpio zodiac sign, Jupiter rules your second house and Jupiter rules your fifth house. Jupiter rules the Kutumb and the Putra Bhav. So it's more about family, it's more about connection with the family, it's more about being in the family and taking the responsibility of your own family members. When Jupiter goes in the fourth house, it is expanding your family, it is expanding your home. So it shows you can buy a new property, you can get new network connections. It's a very good placement for real estate agents, anyone who is working in automobile sector, anyone who is working in home and home decor, Vastu or Feng Shui or any kind of architects. This type of Jupiter placement is also good in investing money in home and real estate areas of life, and also investing money in gold and all other metals or some sort of precious metals. When Jupiter aspects the 10th house from the 4th house, this definitely shows that while you work from home in this time, Jupiter is going to improve and give you more and more opportunities. What you should do is make a comfortable work environment at home. Have a dedicated small space which you can call office. Jupiter rules your second house and goes in the fourth house, definitely shows that your money, your bank account will get invested. Someone from your family can suggest you to invest into property, invest into a particular home, or a need to buy a new home, move to a new different rented home can arise for Scorpio ascendant. But in case you have a Scorpio moon sign, then you should be slightly careful, because see, Jupiter in the fourth house is going to expand you. But if you are Scorpio moon sign, Ketu is transiting over your moon. Definitely it shows that you can misjudge, you can find some difficulty in finding the right source of happiness. A true guru is needed at this time, and you should chant Aditya Hriday Stotram and you should chant Vishnu Sahasranam, and that is going to give you the light that you need and the direction that you should move. Sagittarius zodiac sign. You are ruled by Jupiter. Your fourth house is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter goes in your third house. It's a wonderful placement for you. When Jupiter is in the third house, it aspects the seventh house and it aspects the 11th house. It also aspects its own ninth house. Your first house is the natural ninth house, and Jupiter aspects the ninth house. It expands the spiritual connection with the world. It expands the spiritual life, spiritual growth you can seek, and it also shows that small movement, a religious travel, a spiritual travel can also come into picture. While fourth house Lord goes in the third house, it shows that you might move out from your comfort zone and you might fix your life. This help will come from your family and friends, especially from your spouse, because Jupiter aspect on the 7th house will correct things in marriage. Jupiter aspect on the 11th house will give you an improved presence in public. Third house is communication, so definitely your communication will be more widespread, lot more people will hear. So if you are into any kind of sphere where public speaking is one of the factor, if you are a writer, if you are a journalist, if you are someone who is a public speaker, your presence in the public will improve. But remember one thing, comfort will lose. You have to get out of your comfort zone to find out a new comfort zone, to find out a new avenue of success, and that will call for dedicated and hard work, structured work. It's a Saturn zodiac, so you need to work with proper structure, drink plenty of water, and distribute knowledge. Third house shows communication, focuses on the 11th house, which improves your source of income, which also is the sign of Libra, the balance. The right balance can be you can strike the right balance in this particular zodiac, make the best out of it. It is going to be a soul expansion and an identity expansion transit for all Sagittarius zodiac and moon sign and ascendants. Capricorn ascendant. In case of Capricorn ascendant, you have to understand that Jupiter is going out of your ascendant and it goes in the second house. For you, Jupiter rules your 12th house and the third house. When it goes in the second house, it shows transformation. It shows loss converted into gains. It shows lost money coming back to you. It shows recovering of the finances, recovering the losses that you made in this time frame when Jupiter was debilitated. It shows that the lost brother, a lost friend can come back and reunite with you. So definitely Jupiter has a very positive, very unique connection with the Trik Bhav, the 6, 8 and 12 in this time frame. But which also shows that you need to listen to your family, you need to be with your family, you need to be with yourself. Jupiter in the second house is also going to expand the resources so that you can give out. So this is something which is a giving transit. The more you give, the more you will get. Jupiter aspects on the 6th house and the 8th house is one of the best position of Jupiter to control the negativity of the 6th and the 8th house. Whereas Jupiter on the other hand aspects the 10th house. This increases career chances. This improves the chances of good health. This improves the chances of a good life. Jupiter is no longer on your head misguiding you. On one hand, Saturn is strongly placed on the ascendant, whereas on the other hand, Jupiter in the second house is comfortably placed to give you the necessary direction. You need to chant Om and chant mantras in this time frame and follow some ritual, follow some Vedic ritual. If possible, take the help of a guided person, of a knowledgeable person. Take the guidance of a Brahmin, a Purohit, a priest, wherever you can, who can give you the right kind of guidance about what mantras to chant, what puja that you can perform, what yajna or homa that you can perform. That will give you the right mindset and the right energy, the right spiritual guidance for you. This is also the time frame when you will cut off your loans and invest money that you have. Good time to invest into properties. Good time to invest your money into long-term investment, fixed assets. So fixed asset creation will happen in this time frame, which will give you a better hold of your life and a better hold of your family. Your position, your dignity in the family will also improve. Overall, it's going to be an excellent recovery for you. Aquarius zodiac sign. Jupiter is now coming on you. If you're an Aquarius moon or an Aquarius ascendant, Jupiter will impact your personality. Jupiter will aspect your 5, 7 and 9th house. Knowledge, marriage and destiny, these three areas will improve. When Jupiter comes in the first house, the chance of having a child also improves in this time frame. Jupiter rules your second house and it goes in the first house. That means someone from the family will give a lot of things to you. You will gain a lot of things from the family. And Jupiter, which rules the 11th house, when it goes in the first house, which means your expectations will also get fulfilled. This is kind of one of the best transit for you. But if your own Jupiter is weak or retro in this time frame, you might have to work harder in life, and that hard work will now fructify for your own benefit. Jupiter will stabilize your life. Jupiter will give you an opportunity to change your destiny. When this Jupiter transit happens, when Jupiter goes in the first house, what you should do is expand your consciousness, expand your identity. Practice Akash Mudra, 2 to 3 minutes every day, and chant Aham Brahmasmi. Expand your consciousness and meditate, because then your identity can be shaped through knowledge. Learn as much as you can and upgrade your skill, and that is going to work wonders in your career. If you are having any problem in marriage, you have to act with wise attitude. Anger management can be done when Jupiter is in the first house, especially if your Mars is in the first house. And this Jupiter is also going to take control of any kind of ego or any kind of ahamkar, I will say, not exactly the ego, but the ahamkar that you are suffering from. Overall, this is going to be a very positive transit for you, because 11th Lord going in the first house itself shows that your expectations with yourself is now going to get fulfilled. But remember, don't spend too much of resources on you. Now, if you spend too much of resources, this will ultimately end up into unnecessary expenses. It's like buying 5 mobile phones for you, but you're going to use only one. Remember, unnecessary expenses has to be controlled, and if you can control that, it's going to be a life-changing and a life-creating transit for all Aquarius Ascendant and Moon sign. Pisces zodiac sign. Pisces zodiac sign is controlled by Jupiter. If you are a Pisces Ascendant or Pisces Moon, your 10th and the first lord are ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter goes in the 12th house. That is the subconscious mind. You need to take control of things that you actually see or listen or hear through the subconscious mind. For example, if you're working or if you're watching this video, what is happening around you? With what environment are you watching? Are you stressing yourself while watching the video? Or are you in a comfortable situation right now? See what your subconscious is reading. See what your subconscious mind is behaving, how it is behaving. If you can control that, this Jupiter transit is going to be a loss controlling transit for you. And again, Jupiter being in the 12th house aspects your 6th and the 8th house. Now this is going to take control and bring you the necessary advice and necessary people who can help you control your loss, who can help you repay your loan, and who can help you take control of your diseases. But your Ascendant Lord going in the 12th house shows your Ascendant is going way away from its own natural house. That means you will lose touch with yourself and you will lose yourself to gain a new identity, to gain a new life. It's like you have 50,000 rupees or $50,000 in your account and you have a loan of 48,000, and once for all you pay that instead of suffering day to day. Now you have 2,000 rupees or $2,000 in your account, but you are no longer in debt. The debt and the prarabdha will release, and Jupiter's expansion of the 12th house will improve the exit of negativity. Remember, Guru is at your gate. Welcome the Guru. Chant Mahalakshmi Stotra and Shri Suktam, and this will improve the chances of positivity coming to your home. Bring a priest in your home that can perform puja. Feed the Brahmins, and you will see that Jupiter placement in the 12th house, while you're donating the knowledge, your own knowledge will expand. Overall, this is going to be a loss-preventing transit and a life-changing transit for you. So guys, that was the ascendant-wise analysis of Jupiter transit in the sign of Aquarius. I will bring another video when Jupiter will go retro in June 2021, and then I will keep bringing Jupiter transit updates for you. Stay tuned, stay connected, subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you will be notified when I upload a video. Thank you for being with me and thank you for watching this video. I hope you will explore more videos on my channel. Do give your feedback in the comment section, and I will try to take few suggestions from you, and it will be a nice connect, and I will try to bring out more videos on this channel soon. So thank you for watching. This is your host Punneit. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, namaste.